We just want to give you guys a brief overview of what happened on the trip. As you know, we were in the Dominican Republic for a little over a week last month, and it was really, really amazing. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the trip before we hear from a couple of the students who are going to share their personal experiences and their impressions. But because we value your time and to keep me from going off on a bunch of rabbit trails, I've decided to give you that overview in video form. Let's watch.
God made man.
The trip began Wednesday with Becky Jo, Teresa, and Don descending upon Maranatha Church in downtown La Romana for teacher training. They taught local Dominican Sunday school teachers how to make Bible stories more engaging for kiddos than sitting in hours-long church services with the adults. A few days later, on Saturday, our team of teens flew in with Debbie Walker and myself. After a day of getting acclimated, we headed out on Monday in a school bus, along with the freshly trained local teachers. Our destination, one of 3 bateys we would visit during the week, putting on Vacation Bible School. Bateys are sugarcane plantations with ramshackle villages in the middle of them where plantation workers live with their families. Each village has a little church, overseen by our ministry partners from Maranatha Church, Ketley and Vital Pierre. The first batey was by far the most challenging, but our students were amazing, sharing their Bible stories, going with the flow with last-minute changes, and giving the unruly kiddos the attention they craved, and praying with several to receive Christ. And that trial by fire equipped our students for the rest of the week with confidence that God would do his work no matter what challenges we faced. At the other bateys and at a pair of urban churches, our teens found beautiful ways to bridge the language barrier with patty cake and Rochambeau. And the kids really got into the games and Bible stories. Throughout the week, we handed off more and more of the responsibility to the local teachers we were there to train. By Friday, the local teachers were telling almost all the Bible stories and leading the memory verse, Genesis 1:1 in Espanol.
En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra.
All in all, the trip was amazing. There was bonding over card games and laughter, broken air conditioning and temperamental toilets, and we saw how God works when his people are willing to trust him, especially when it's uncomfortable and even scary. So there you go. That's a little taste of it. Teresa was willing to be the sacrificial lamb for the poor local whose hand was going to get chopped off. So now, just 2 of our students are going to share their experiences briefly. Ryder, Sellards, and Evelynn Gonzales. We'll begin with Ryder.
Going to the Dominican Republic had been a scary thought, despite training with our group. I had never been to a third world country, and I didn't know what to expect. I knew I was going to have to rely on God more than I ever have, and I knew he would be enough, but I still felt nervous. It didn't take long to realize I had nothing to be nervous about. The first day of VBS, or Vacation Bible School, was rocky, as things didn't go as planned, but everything still worked out. I left that day feeling confident that we had delivered God's message well. After that rough day, everything got better and better. Each consecutive day, we managed to fit more activities, stories, and crafts in, and the kids were more and more receptive with each new place we went to. While there was an the occasional unexpected change in plans, we all adapted quickly every day. Every morning before the service and every night after the service, we got into our group and did devotions, which was extremely helpful. Through these devotions, I was able to collect my thoughts and realize and understand the changes happening within myself. I realized all the miracles happening to make every VBS go smoothly, and I realized just how much I could trust God. One of the most important devotions for me was one where we talked about the things we take into our own hands and don't trust God with, and how this service we were doing was bigger than all of those things. I realized that through trusting God with this and how well it went, I really could trust God with anything in my life. This was an important realization for me, as I know and can easily recognize many things in my life I would prefer to take into my own hands, but I should instead trust God with. Thank you.
This trip was not only an amazing opportunity for me to reach out to others and spread the word of God, but it was also a reality check. Before this trip, I thought that these people were out here like simply living their lives just like the rest of us. I thought they woke up every day to a life very similar to ours. I was actually really wrong though. From the moment I left the airport and began to enter into the town area, I almost immediately started to notice that these people literally live in modern-day slavery. Before my trip, I had heard a couple people mention something about them being in slavery, but I just kind of brushed it to the side and thought that it probably wasn't as bad as they made it out to be. Seeing that it's even worse than how they described it made me really sad, and it actually opened my eyes to things about my own life. Seeing all the differences and actually living there for 8 days showed me that our lives are so incredibly easy. We live our lives based on a routine. We get up, get dressed for the day, eat breakfast, head off to wherever we please. We have jobs, money, houses with electricity, doctors we can go to when we're sick, and everything else you can think of. If we run out of food, we simply drive down to the grocery store and buy what we want. We have water we can drink at the turn of a knob. We're so incredibly privileged, and we take all of it for granted. The people who live out in the Batays have none of that. No running water, no plumbing, no electricity. They don't even have machines to wash their clothes. When I take a look at their lives and compare it to mine, it makes me a lot more thankful for the life I have. What I experienced on this trip has most importantly helped my relationship grow with God. He showed me that trusting Him in every situation is key. If we're not trusting God, then what's the point? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, especially for your support, your prayers, your financial support. Incredibly important. We are blessed. God bless you.